Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Central Tabletop Gaming. I am your host, Jeremy Kelly, and it's been a long time since I've done a video. I have been undergoing a lot of stress with the wedding, and some of my friends have been going through hard times, and I've been trying to help them out. But here I am, I'm back. We're going to try to get back on the swing of things, and we're going to do another rant video today, because I posted on my Facebook channel, Central Tabletop Gaming, that I needed a tally of who should I complain about next. And when you're still a new channel, you expect the disappointment of, a handful of votes, if you're lucky sometimes. And I got 2 votes. One for me to complain about the Blood Angels, the others for me to complain about the Necrons. And, well, what does any good gamer do when it's a tie? We roll a dice. On evens, I had to complain about the Necrons. On odds, I had to complain about the Blood Angels. And I got unlucky. When I rolled a 2 on the dice and realized my fate was sealed, I had to complain about the army I love most. That's where my story gets to begin. So, I love and hate everything about Warhammer. So that means if I chose my army, there's something I hated about it. Because, let's be honest, nothing is perfect. So, let me begin by saying this much. We're going to just go off like I did with the Ultramarine video, but I get to actually feel sorry for myself and make myself question my life by complaining about the Necrons. So let's get started. The Necrons are living metal, and they have this ability known as Reanimation Protocol, which most players who have fought against Necrons have learned that it is a horrific thing to go against. It is very similar in all the aspects of Feel No Pain, except with certain units I can end up getting it on a 4-up instead of a 5-up. I don't remember what Feel No Pain is. I don't play against it very often. I did one time and that was it. And I can see why standing across the field from a group of Necrons, because my other army is Tau, and I'm working on an Imperial Guard, so I've toyed around with the thought of fighting Necrons. It's going to be essentially annoying just to face something that just says, I'm not going to die, no matter how much you put your bullets into me. The Necron Tesla ability and its Gauss ability are absolutely horrendous when it comes to dealing with everything. Gauss, I can shoot at you, and if it can't be a penetrating hit, it is a glancing hit. And Tesla, if I roll a 6... Oh, by the way, both only apply on 6s. That's probably a good and bad thing for anyone who plays Necrons, because you can become very reliant on 6s in a hard-strung game. But thankfully, I don't make one universal strategy, so that's usually not my flaw. But again, going back to Tezzy, if I roll a 6, I have a chance to hit, I believe, 2 more targets. I don't play with Tesla. Tesla's not my cup of tea. But now I'm looking at an army that says you either just take the wound, because that's also a thing with Gauss, is you automatically take it. I do believe there is an invuln saved allowed, because it is you just take it, it's not an instant kill rule. And if I remember correctly, invuln saves are any time you cannot make a regular save. So, when you look at it in that lighting, it makes it very hard to stand against something that just goes, if I roll a 6, something's going to die, and if I roll a 6, I'm electrocuting you as if you just grabbed a hold of jumper cables and handed them to your 2 buddies while taking a 3rd piece and attaching it to your nipples. In other words, it is not a very comfortable situation for anyone in that squad that just got targeted. And that makes it a nightmare when you're having to face these people, these Necrons, because they essentially just make you wonder, am I going to instant die or become someone's stir-fried chicken? So, Necrons are going to just horrifically murder you. And it makes it hard to want to fight them. Now, the second thing that I can't stand about the Necrons is I had to personally learn how to make fast Necrons. Now, that is a horrible joke to anyone who's heard about the Necrons, because Necrons are more known for painfully slow but purposeful marching. And I hate slow and purposeful. I'd rather get in your face, rip you apart, give you no chance to back down, than slowly conquer the board. And to me, that was a hard thing to like about the Necrons, is slow and purposeful, which just absolutely irked me to want to literally punch my own units in the face until they would learn to speed up. Like, come on, people. Just march and hurry. Just, if we don't, the enemy's going to overrun us. That is what it felt like my first few games. And it absolutely drove me insane. So, another thing with the Necrons that is just as painful as slow and purposeful is, unlike Space Marines, there is nothing you can customize. And I cannot begin to explain to you how much I hate that. It feels like everything is the same old thing. Obviously, if you look at a Necron Warrior, it's got the Gauss Rifle. If you look at the Necron Immortals, they've either got a Gauss Blaster or a Tesla Carbine. If you look at the Night Scythe, you know its loadout. If you look at the Ghost Arc, you know its loadout. There are very few things you can customize. More so, it feels like you're just adding on. I don't use Tomb Blades, but I looked at it and I'm like, this is the most customized piece minus your commanders. It's got more than 1 to 3 options. And it was really hard for me to want to play Necrons when they literally feel like you can't make them as universal as you would want. And that's going to drive me insane every time I build an army list. So, the lack of customization that Necrons are, in my opinion, becoming very notorious for in my life, is the same thing I love and hate about them, because it's like, Necron Warrior, I know what I need to give him. Necron Immortal, I know what I'll need to give him when I finally purchase me some, because right now I don't have any. My Overlord, okay, I know what I'm going to throw on him. I don't have to think about it. And, as much as people would say, hey, that makes it where you can just write lists back to back to back to back. No, really what it tells me is my list is so basic that if I meet someone, they are going to instantly learn my strategy. And I don't like that. I really don't. Now, most people will tell me with things like the I'm hoping I say this right, Praetorians, the Triarch Praetorians, that most people will use a Rod of the Covenant. It's an AP2 weapon, it's devastating, and it has range. I preferred the Void Blade Particle Caster, because yes, you can shoot as if it's a pistol, but the other thing I learned to love more is the Anthropic Strike, which has the Gauss rule, where if I melee you, you're just going to take it. And I love that. Well, what are some other things I hate about the Necrons? It's probably the same thing that people love about them. People like... I do not get people today. When I say I am sick of how the world absolutely loves this whole obsession with death, I do not get it. When I looked at the little things with the Necrons. When I look at the figures, I love the way they look. I mostly love it because it's an ancient Egyptian style flair, and it feels like it's still historical while still being future tech. That's what I love about it. And for me, it was really hard just to... Sorry, the shirt's really tight. It's really hard to appreciate... How do I say this? The fact that the skeletal look is literally what everyone obsesses over with them. It really is. I didn't play the Necrons because Reanimation Protocol. I didn't play the Necrons because they look like skeleton men. I didn't play the Necrons even for the Gauss rule or the Tezzy. I played it simply for the historical factor, but what does everyone want to look at? Oh, they're the army of death. And we wonder why I'm losing faith in humanity by the day. So, to me, the Necrons are exactly that. They are a dead army, but the fact that they look dead is honestly a huge, huge, huge kick to my love for them. And one thing I will say that is probably even more painful than the fact that the world has this obsession with death is actually it's the model itself. And the fact that the model is a skeletal person, they are also very fragile. And I've had to actually replace the arm on my Overlord so many times that I'm grateful I learned how to gently scrape off glue and sand it down so it didn't look like he had, you know, this elbow that was just bulging this weird ball extremity from his elbow. I should have thought of that statement a little more before making it, but oh well. Needless to say, but it's the whole look, it's my love for them and it's my hate for them that makes the model itself a pain. The models are so fragile that if I did not have my carrying case, I could not take them anywhere. Kind of like some children I know. Anyways, sorry. Again, I'm a little random. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. But the Necrons, now let's look a little bit at their lore. They are the oldest race in Warhammer 40k. Minus the old ones if they still exist. I've heard people say, yeah, there's a handful out there. I've heard people say there's none out there. I don't know. I haven't seen actual models of them, but supposedly in one of the codexes, I think it was for the Necrons, you could use lizardmen from Warhammer Fantasy to substitute for the old ones. So, maybe. Also, on one of the other channels I watch, which is a lore channel, I think he brought that up as well, but don't make me swear to that. I am a fan of other YouTube channels, and I actually will watch them before making videos like this for one reason: I do not want to copy them. They're their own people, I appreciate what they're doing, and huge shout out to them. They know who they are because they've probably seen my comments in their sections below. And in their video sections below their things. Moving on. Needless to say, when it comes down to the Necrons, because this is really what the topic is about, there are things I love about them. You all know I want to play more Necrons. I want to play people with them. They are the army I stand beside. But these are just a few little facts I could not stand about the Necrons, and what makes them real annoying for me to think about going up against, as well as even for me to play them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a little bit of a weird one. I'm starting to get back into the hang of this, and we'll see where it goes from here. But if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you all again soon, and have a nice day.